Okay, we'll get the elephant in the room out the way straight away, and that's the fact that the Nintendo Switch build that you're seeing here is version 1.0. There's a patch that was due to come out today actually, and we've got footage all about that, so when we talk about performance and visual quality, you'll be able to see both the current build and the new patched version, as I think that's probably the biggest issue with the game at the moment. And the publisher has given us a few copies to give away to you guys, so a thanks to them for sponsoring this one. All you have to do is watch the video and let us know in the comments what you think of it. I am an unashamed Warhammer fan and was delighted to see Warhammer 40,000 Dakka Squadron come into the Nintendo Switch. If you're unaware of it, think about some of your favourite classic air simulation games with an arcade twist, but it's a bunch of foul-mouthed orcs doing the flying, and playing as an orc isn't exactly the angle you'd be used to if you are a Warhammer fan, especially with the games on the Nintendo Switch. This one first came out back in 2021 on other platforms. We'll go over everything you need to know, we'll look at the performance on the Switch version specifically, and what you can expect. So, is it time to enlist in Dakka Squadron? Well, let's find out. As I'm sure you're aware, the Orcs aren't the most complex of creatures, and in line with that, the storyline follows suit. You play as a new Orc Flyboy, with the intent of becoming War Boss. To do that, you're going to have to prove yourself over a number of missions, and these take place over several different planets. You'll be battling against the Imperium of Man, the Eldar, the Necrons, and of course other Orcs. Now, despite the more simplistic setup for missions, there is actually quite a lot of Warhammer 40k lore within this game. Little Easter eggs, and quite a few different secrets that you'll spot as you fly around. As I'm sure you're aware, this is a third-person aerial shooter with an arcade side to it, where you're in control of those Orc aircraft, carrying out several missions. It will feel very familiar to those people that enjoy these types of games, and there's a large single-player campaign here where you can choose from 4 different Orc clans: the Bad Moons, the Blood Axes, the Death Skulls, and the Goths. Each one of those has their own characteristics, their personality if you will, which has an effect on the gameplay. The Bad Moons, they have a bit more money and slightly better weapons, while those Death Skulls, they get quite a bit more loot. Now, I'm sure I'm right in remembering this, on other platforms there was a multiplayer mode. I don't know if that's available on the Nintendo Switch version, which is something we've seen quite a lot, let's be honest, over the years, and it's a bit of a shame, especially in a game like this. You can customize your aircraft in a number of different ways. You can add different weapons to them, upgrade those weapons, and those will be bought or looted. That jet can be equipped with various different bomb types, missiles, rockets, but it's tweaking the look and the liveries that a lot of people are going to like, and putting different stickers and things on there so that you can get your styling just right. The game then sees you basically controlling one of the ships of those different clans, of which you'll unlock new ones as you go along, and generally the premise goes you'll be thrown into a stage. There's a huge battle going on, both allied and enemy ships will be fighting each other, and you'll be given a list of objectives shown in the corner of the screen, where you'll either need to take out a number of enemy pilots, destroy shield bases, or even attack bases themselves. Now, sometimes there are cool elements, like there might be a large shield generator over the entire base, and you'll need to take that out, get inside, do some damage, and try and get out before it closes up over the top. Or you're escorting your own ground units, and at one point I think I was escorting a lander, trying to keep it safe as it was attacked from multiple angles. There are boss fights of sorts in here as well, and they take the form of one-on-one dogfights against rival clans. I didn't find these quite as interesting, just because you kind of repeating the same actions over and over. Having different elements coming into the other stages was a little more interesting. As you work your way through the different stages, you unlock the new planets and then can progress to further missions. Now, at any point you can switch to one of the other clan members, but by doing so you actually reset the progression and they'll have a different variety of missions to undertake. With that said, you can just switch back and continue your progress with the clan that you're currently using. Dakka Squadron runs on the Unreal Engine 4, which has seen a lot of work on the Nintendo Switch, and it's been used many times at this point. Now, initially when it first came out, let's be honest, it was not an easy engine to use, but as I say, I think there's even a Switch compiler built into the Unreal Engine now to make things a little easier. As it stands, Dakka Squadron on Switch, the visuals are the biggest issue for me, and having spoken to the publisher, we actually were able to attain a bit of footage from the next patch because it really needs one. As you can see side by side with the new patch that they've got in the works, it looks significantly better. That is to say, the current build, which you would have seen in most of the footage here, has very bad aliasing, jaggy edges on the outsides of objects, a very low resolution as well. However, it actually runs quite well, and I say quite well because most of the time the frame delivery is consistent, which makes it feel smooth. However, in the current version that is pre-patch, when there's a large explosion or when you turn and face a big group of enemies, you'll see the frame rate drop down. That's another area where the patch, again, which could be out or should be out on launch day, if not a day or two later, significantly improves things. Unreal Engine isn't the difficult engine it once was on Switch, especially Unreal Engine 4. So I am very pleased actually that despite this being a sponsored video, they were like, look, we get it, right? It doesn't look the way we want it to. This is the patch that we've built, and this is what that looks like. From a sound and audio standpoint though, things are top draw. This has that real British sense of humour in it. Obviously the Orcs all speak with different accents, but they are foul-mouthed beings, and there's a lot of humour in here. You'll have co-pilots flying around, essentially paying you out for your lack of skills, and other orcs and creatures that you encounter will all be giving their input on the proceedings. I love that little dialogue and banter that goes on behind the scenes while you're flying. It gives a real sense of place to this world. Musically, there's a fitting metal soundtrack, which was composed by BAFTA award-winning Jason Graves, who, if you didn't know, worked on the Dead Space series, as well as, I think, Far Cry Primal and Tomb Raider. The voice acting that I spoke about, well, it comes from the dulcet tones of Brian Blessed, among others, who needs absolutely no introduction himself, an absolute legend, and it gives you an idea of the quality of that voice acting.
Send in your squadrons and blast him out of his fortress. Yes, boss. Me boys will take him out.
You're leaving the battle zone! Get back to the fight!
That's it. Yes, quick food.
Dakka Squadron is going to retail at £17.99, that's the RRP, and it releases tomorrow, that being the 8th of March. The whole thing's going to fit into 5.7 gigs, and it's a genre that has very, very little competition on the Nintendo Switch, and it's a really fun game. All we need, I think, is a little bit more TLC on the visual front, but it is nice to see them provide evidence that they're actually doing that right now. Obviously this is a sponsored video, so it's not a review, but what I will say is over on Steam the game holds a very positive rating with an average of 9 out of 10. Warhammer 40,000 fans, you're going to love it, and I think it's probably one of the Warhammer games on Switch that's going to appeal to more people. I was just looking there and my goodness, we've got about 10 different Warhammer games on Switch right now in almost as many different genres. So there we have it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this one? We obviously are giving away a code. It may even be 2 codes, so yeah, we'll let you know in the coming days. We did give away a couple of copies of Berserk Boy to the winners of our Sunday Sale series, and they were pretty delighted with those. So yeah, it's always nice to try, as much as we can at least, to give back any codes that we have that, you know, don't get used or the developer says we can give away. Thanks to our Patreons, to our members, to all of you that support SwitchUp, and specifically Glen and I, and for all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!